Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This is Richard Forges, Interim President and CEO at Destination British Columbia. I'm honored to join you today from the traditional territory of the Wasanich peoples and the Sakum Nation. Today's call will be different than our usual calls, given the current circumstances. While there has been encouraging news in the last couple of weeks with Pfizer and Moderna's vaccination breakthroughs, and rapid testing pilots at YVR, Pearson, and Calgary International Airports, we now find ourselves, unfortunately, in the midst of a second wave, with the numbers of COVID cases rising daily and steeply in British Columbia and across Canada. British Columbia's provincial health officer reported over 500 new COVID-19 cases yesterday, after a record high 762 new cases on Wednesday. As Dr. Henry noted yesterday, only 4 weeks ago, British Columbia was reporting approximately 175 new cases a day. To put this into perspective, our province has a population of roughly 5 million people. The approximately 700 daily cases we've been averaging over the past few days here in British Columbia is the equivalent of about 50,000 cases a day in the US. And our case numbers are doubling every couple of weeks. We all know we must get COVID under control now. This past Monday, in addition to other actions, Dr. Henry strongly recommended against all non-essential travel within and to and from British Columbia. And Dr. Henry reinforced this advice again yesterday. As a provincial government crown corporation and as citizens of British Columbia, it is our duty to follow Dr. Henry's recommendations and encourage all British Columbians to do so as well. As we all know, COVID-19 knows no borders. It's not restricted by river, valley, ferry, highway, or mountain. And despite everything our industry has done over the last few months to keep people safe as they travel in British Columbia, and we've collectively done a great deal, transmission rates are continuing to increase in British Columbia because of personal behavior choices and the orders and regionally specific travel restrictions introduced on November 7th have not been enough to turn the tide. There is no doubt that the last 2 weeks since we last came together for this call have been increasingly difficult for British Columbia's already embattled tourism industry and for all of us as residents. As you know, we temporarily halted all our marketing efforts on November 7th in response to Dr. Henry's initial recommendation against non-essential travel to, from, and within the Vancouver coastal and Fraser Health regions. With the additional province-wide restrictions on non-essential travel introduced on November 16th and reinforced yesterday, the tourism industry should not be promoting visitation from outside their local communities or from across Canada until December 7th. Other Canadian jurisdictions are following similar paths. For example, we've been advised that Travel Alberta has canceled all interprovincial marketing that they had been planning as well. As British Columbians, we all have a responsibility to do our part to reduce the rate of new cases for our collective health and for the future well-being of our industry. We know it is in the best interest of British Columbia's tourism industry to help get the numbers down as quickly as possible, to keep the confidence of the public that tourism businesses are safe, and to save our winter season. Temporary restrictions like these have flattened the curve before, here in British Columbia last spring, and in other countries like France and Germany this fall, which have had restrictions in place for a few weeks because the second wave started earlier there than here. We can flatten the curve again. We've received many questions over the last 2 weeks about messaging to consumers, marketing approaches, timeframes for the current restrictions, and how to manage questions or cancellations from travelers. We know this can be a frustrating time as we work to answer your questions and concerns. Please know that our teams are working closely with our government colleagues and in alignment with the BC Provincial Health Officer's orders and guidelines to get clarity on messaging as quickly as possible to you as the situation evolves. On November 10th, we posted revised messaging guidance and an FAQ document to address the regional travel restrictions to our COVID resource hub. Our messaging guidance and FAQs has now been updated to reflect the new recommendations and orders Dr. Henry announced yesterday. It was heartening to hear Dr. Henry recognize the importance of our industry and the steps that industry has taken and will continue to implement to keep visitors and employees safe. For now, through December 7th, we must focus on local customers, those from the same households or one or two members of the same social bubble, and not encourage travel beyond our local communities. As information becomes available from the PHO, we will update our messaging and guidance, so please continue to check our social channels and corporate website for this information. Given everything that has happened over the last 2 weeks, we have also been reminded by Dr. Henry that all businesses must have up-to-date COVID-19 workplace safety plans in place. In accordance with the COVID-19 Safety Plan Order of BC's Provincial Health Officer, introduced in the spring, every business must have a COVID-19 safety plan that outlines the policies, guidelines, and procedures that it has implemented to reduce the risk of COVID-19 transmission. As well as being posted publicly at the workplace, this plan must be posted on the business's consumer-facing website so that it is readily available for review by members of the public. Tourism businesses must continue to implement these health and safety protocols and update them as necessary to keep their patrons and staff safe. As we heard yesterday, it's now mandatory for us all to wear masks in all indoor public and retail spaces, staff and customers alike, unless eating or drinking. Please check WorkSafe BC's COVID Safety Plan website for the latest information on health and safety protocols and guidelines. To help businesses share these plans with consumers, Destination BC has created a new feature so that businesses can add a direct link to their COVID-19 safety plan to their hellobc.com listing. There's no cost to add this feature, and it's easy to do. By sharing their safety plan on Hello BC, businesses can underline that they have taken the required steps to protect consumers and staff, reassure residents, and help build confidence in the safety of tourism once restrictions are lifted. Before I close today, I want to draw your attention to an additional resource created by last week's guest, Selena Bassi, from the Ministry of Jobs, Economic Development and Competitiveness regarding the Small and Medium-Sized Business Recovery Grants Program. As you'll recall, Selena provided an overview of the program and details on how businesses can apply. Selena has kindly created a short video of her presentation, which can be used to help you, your members, or your stakeholders better understand the program. The video can be found on our corporate website in the provincial response section of our COVID Hub. In closing, we know these circumstances are difficult for our industry. We are meeting with government counterparts on a daily basis to ensure we have the latest information and messaging, especially as we head into the crucial holiday and winter season. These restrictions are in place until December 7th. If we do our part now, we can save the rest of the winter travel season. Please continue to engage with us and follow our social channels for the latest news and information. As the situation shifts, we'll continue to provide you with updates as they come. As always, recordings of these calls are posted on our COVID Resource Hub at destinationbc.ca. If you need advice or have questions and concerns about these recommendations, please contact us at COVID-19 response at destinationbc.ca. We will work with government partners to get answers you need as soon as possible. Thank you for joining us again today. As I sign off, I'll borrow a phrase from Dr. Henry. Be kind, be calm, and stay safe. Take care, everyone. Thank you.